Hey guys, and welcome to Fit Tip Friday. This is your favourite video series where I take a question that I've been asked at some point in my career and give you a quick, precise, to the point answer. Today's question is there a best time to be eating high protein foods? Good question. But first, take 2 seconds to subscribe to my YouTube channel, ashmaypt, and also give this video a thumbs up whilst you're at it. So, is there a best time to be eating high protein foods? This is a good question, but it's asked a little bit incorrectly. High protein foods should be eaten as part of every meal, because every meal, aside from some particular circumstances, should have protein in it. So every meal should have a high protein food source within it. That being said, there is definitely a benefit to some meals having higher protein intakes than other meals. However, the first thing to cover is that your total daily protein intake is always going to be more important, is always going to take priority over how much protein is in your individual meals. You could be absolutely nailing your protein timing. The amount of protein you have per meal could be spot on, but if your total daily protein is too low, then it means literally nothing. So until you are consistently, for a long period of time, eating adequate protein of 1 gram per pound of body weight per day, then don't even worry about your amount of protein per meal. But if you are in the stage where your times are getting more advanced and you're ready to go deeper, then we definitely can look into protein distribution throughout the different meals of the day. Your body is always in a state of either anabolism or catabolism, which basically means you are constantly either building tissue or breaking down tissue. We just need to bias it so that you're building tissue for a higher percentage of time than you are breaking it down, so that your net gain is anabolic. Because of this, your body needs a certain amount of protein per hour to keep it ticking by, to keep it anabolic. But that amount of protein is very small, and it's obviously not realistic to ask somebody to eat like 6 grams of protein once an hour. So instead of that, we just break it down into your meals throughout the day, rather than having 24 meals for the 24 hours in the day. If you weigh 180 pounds and therefore need 180 grams of protein per day, you need each meal to have enough protein in to get you to the next meal while staying anabolic. So let's say that you eat 4 meals a day. One way you could go about this would be just to have 45 grams of protein in each meal per day. That would get you to a nice, even 180 grams of protein. Your meal prep would be nice and simple. You know that every meal is going to be the same. However, the issue with that is that most people don't have their meals perfectly spread out throughout the day. Your first meal might be at 8 AM, followed by a 5-hour break, eating again at 1 PM, followed by a 4-hour break, eating at 5 PM, and then just 2 hours later, you might be having your last meal at 7 PM. So as you can see, the amount of time between your meals is pretty much all over the place. So when we look at this, your 4th meal doesn't actually need anywhere near as much protein as your first meal would, because there's only 2 hours until you're eating again after that 3rd meal. Whereas your first meal has a big 5-hour break, so it's going to need a lot more protein to keep you going and anabolic throughout that time period. And again, you're also probably going to want to heavily bias your protein intake to that last meal, because you're then going to go to bed, and in this case, you're not eating again for 13 hours. So having a lot of your protein in that last meal is probably quite a good idea, especially slow digesting protein like casein. So instead of our nice simple 45 grams of protein per meal approach, something a little bit more optimal to bias protein at the times of day where you need it would be like this. Your first meal could have 50 grams of protein, a nice big hit of protein to get you through those 5 hours. Your second meal could then have 40 grams of protein. Your third meal could then have just 20 grams of protein, because you're eating again in 2 hours. And then your 4th and final meal of the day at 7 PM could have a whopping 70 grams of protein, nice slow digesting to help you get through that long period of fasting whilst you sleep. This is going to put you at that same 180 grams per day total, but the actual timing of the protein is going to be a little bit more optimal to keep your muscle protein synthesis elevated throughout the day. It's also worth mentioning that your pre and post workout meals don't actually need to be anywhere near as high in protein as people think. So it might be a good idea to train between those two lower protein meals in this situation. So to make it nice and simple and to go back to the initial question, when is the best time to eat high protein foods? Well, you always want to be eating high protein foods in every meal, but really you want to be biasing your highest protein meals towards a period of time where you're going to be not eating for the longest amount of time after that meal. That's all for today, guys. Thank you for watching Fit Tip Friday. If you have any questions about this episode or any questions for future episodes, make sure to drop them in the comment section and I'll get right back to you. Make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, ashmaypt. We have new videos coming out every Tuesday and every Friday. Don't miss out. Join the damn team. Thank you as always for watching. Until next one, see you later, guys.